Motorsport 411 presents
all the 4- and 2-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411 with Sean Cardovillis.
Welcome to Motorsport 411, your home for all your 4- and 2-wheel action in Africa. This week we have an exclusive as we speak to Dakar motorcycle superstar, the Kalahari Ferrari, Ross Branch from Botswana.
All the 4- and 2-wheeled action. Motorsport 411.
Hey guys, I'm Ross Branch, the Kalahari Ferrari, and you're listening to Motorsport 411.
Welcome to the show. So this week we have an exclusive as we speak to the Dakar motorcycle superstar, Ross Branch. Ross, thank you so much for speaking to us on Motorsport 411. The Kalahari Ferrari, the motorcycle superstar from Botswana who's competing in the 2023 Dakar Rally. Ross, thank you so much once again for speaking to us. Just tell us, first of all, how the preparations are going for this Dakar Rally.
Guys, thank you so much for having me on the show. It's awesome, to be on a show back home. It's really cool. So preparations are going extremely well. We've had a change of teams from the last Dakar. I'm with Hero Motorsports at the moment, the Indian brand, the biggest motorcycle manufacturer in the world, and things are going extremely well. I'm really happy with the bike. We've done a couple of rallies now. I've done my third rally with them, and things are going extremely well. We've been training hard the last couple of months and putting our head down and being in a position where we need to be to, go for a good result at Dakar. So it's been a lot of hard work, and I'm fit and I'm healthy and mentally I'm strong. So things are going extremely well, and we got a couple of exciting months coming up before Dakar. We've only got 2 months left, and we got a couple of trips to Namibia into the sand dunes to do the final tests, and the whole team is coming out to Southern Africa, which is extremely amazing for us. We need the international exposure over here, and I'm excited and looking forward to the next couple of months of training, and obviously for the Dakar.
Now, you were with Monster Yamaha. That's a big team in itself. What persuaded you to move across to Hero?
Yeah, it was, I think it was just time had come to an end with Yamaha and Dakar in general. They had decided to opt out of Dakar for the future until a later stage. And, I saw the Hero Motorsports team was incredible. In the such short time that they've been involved in Dakar, their team has evolved so much, and their results have proven it. They've gone, just in the short 7 years that they've been with the Dakar Rally, they've managed to go from, mid-pack to winning stages in the Dakar. So I think the timing was right for me to go over there. I've been friends with the team since I started Dakar Rally, and the guys are all super fun, and it's a homely vibe and it's a family vibe. So I think for me, coming from Botswana and the person that I am, I think it just suited me. Everything worked well, and obviously it's a big step, going from Monster Energy Yamaha into Hero Motorsports and the unknown. It was extremely exciting for me. But I'm really happy. The best move I could have made. The team is incredible. The team manager is a wealth of knowledge and experience in rally racing in general, and has everything really well thought out, and the team is very professional, and at the same time, they know I put enough pressure on myself to win, so the pressure doesn't come from them, which is a big help for me. I don't need the extra pressure, and I'm super happy. And like I say, I think it was a great move, and I was happy throughout my rally career. I've been extremely happy, and I think this is just a good step in the right direction, and it's what I need to go and win Dakar. So I think it's all in all was a good move.
Ross, you've just come back from India. What was going on there exactly?
Yeah, it's an incredible place. This is luckily enough my second trip to India in the short time that I've been with Hero Motorsports, and we just went over there to do a Dakar press conference, and they've got an extremely amazing project on the go at the moment. It's India's next hero, and they've taken guys that have never ridden bikes, and they've put them on a track and taught them for the last couple of months. and they've got 3 lucky winners that have got a contract from Hero to race for the next year in their national side. So, it's an opportunity of a lifetime that they've given to one of their guys or a couple of their guys, and it's extremely awesome to see that they're putting back into motorsport as much as they have, and I loved it. I really enjoyed my time over there. The hospitality was incredible, and I think it just shows the depth of the team and the chance they're willing to take on other riders to have a future for them, so it's good to see, and it just cements my place at Hero, making sure that I've made the right decision. It just shows that I have, and it was an incredible trip and a trip of a lifetime, and I'm super proud to be able to give back to the country as well for them giving me the opportunity of a lifetime.
Now, they have been recruiting riders. I won't say poached riders, but they have been recruiting riders. Can you tell us probably some of the big names who are in the team with you?
Yeah, sure. I think they've got a extremely strong team. They're very clever with the team decisions, and the team dynamic is really good. And they take the riders that will make a strong team all around, and not just the guys that are going to win stages. So, it's Joaquim Rodriguez, who is an extremely famous rider from back in the day in Supercross and Motocross, and now is the first rider to ever win a stage for Hero Motorsports, and the first time an Indian brand has won a stage at Dakar. So he's an extremely strong rider, a very clever rider. Then we've got Franco Caimi from Argentina, who is probably one of the fittest riders there, and really strong as well. Got some good results. Sebastian Buehler is our youngest rider in the team, and his first Dakar was the same time as me, so we're really good friends. And he is really strong. And then obviously myself. So there's a team of 4 that is pretty strong for Dakar, and we get along extremely well. And it's an exciting time for Hero Motorsports as well as for all of us riders, and we're all together now in India, and it's it was a true team get together, and I think we had a blast. All of us were laughing and joking the whole time, and when it came down to the serious stuff, we had a good time with each other, and it was really incredible to see. And like I say, I'm just happy to be the part of the team and lucky enough to be a part of such an amazing team.
Ross, it's been quite a journey for you. Your first Dakar was in 2019 as a privateer. Just tell us how you got the idea to start doing the Dakar.
It's been a trip of ups and downs, and I think as any athlete in general, no matter the sport, I think you go through those highs and the lows throughout your career. And it started way back when I was 6 years old. My dad took me to watch Paris-Le Cap, which was the Dakar, but it was going from Paris to Cape Town. And from then, my dad and I have watched it every year. In January, we've been sitting down every single night watching the Dakar, and I've always wanted to be a part of it. I didn't know exactly how I could do it, the Dakar. I didn't know the ins and the outs. And then I approached my team at the time, which was Francisca Brendel from KTM South Africa, and said that I wanted to do this. And she was really keen to help me out with the supports and stuff, but she wanted us to win a couple of South African national championships. So I won. The deal was I could go after winning my second one, but I won 3 before we decided to go. And it was really difficult at times. We had to raise 120,000 euros, which is 1.2 million rand at the time, just to go and race Dakar. So it was a real battle, a real struggle to raise the money, but there were so many supportive people throughout Africa that got involved. We had so many people buying T-shirts and stickers and everything that they could to help me get to reach and follow my dreams. So I'll be forever grateful for everybody, that believed in me to get me there. And we went there in 2019 not knowing what to expect. And it was an incredible experience. I did extremely well. I finished 13th overall and was the winner of the rookie category, which is exactly what we wanted, and my second year was just as tough. We had to raise just as much money, and the goal was to better my result, and whether that meant overall result or just go out there and show that I had what it takes to go and eventually win Dakar one day. And stage 2 of 2020, I managed to win a stage in the Dakar Rally, which was a dream come true. And from there, I think it's it showed that I have the potential, what it takes to do extremely well in the rally. So at that time, KTM weren't in a position to help me out, and obviously it opened up some doors for some incredible teams. And that's when we made the decision to go with Monster Energy Yamaha. Yamaha's been around the Dakar Rally for many, many years, and obviously one of my idols, Stefan Peter Hansel, was and still is a true Yamaha fan. So it was for me the right decision, and we went to Yamaha for 2 years. An incredible time. I learned so much and was really up there. I was managed to win my first ever round of the World Championship in Kazakhstan. And we had some good memories. And then, like I say, it was just time to move on and try something new. And Hero is in a good position, and they're growing so fast and so well, and everything's an open book there, and we put him back into the team as much as we take him out, which is exactly what I like to do. So that's a basic outlook of my short-lived rally career, but I think there's a good future for me, and I really hope that within the next couple of years I can be one of the top contenders at Dakar and fight for the podium.
Now, looking at the Dakar itself, and it's an incredible event, but you need stamina. It's an endurance event. You see people coming in the middle of the night. How do you cope with the conditions?
Yeah, there's a reason they say it's the toughest race and toughest off-road race in the world, and that's exactly because of that. You never know what you're going to get each day. Every day is different. There's so many emotional roller coasters that go on during Dakar. Whether it's from the riding, whether it's from the fatigue, whether it's mentally drained, every day is a roller coaster, and there is obviously a whole continent that backs me as well, which also adds to it. There's so many messages of support and so many messages of good luck and everything like that, which keeps us going, and I'm really grateful for that. But I think it's the messages and the love and support from everyone back home that keeps you going, because on the bad day, things go really badly, and it's pretty difficult, mentally wise, to keep focused and to keep control and not spiraling out of control is difficult. But it's what I love doing. I absolutely love the adventure side of Dakar. The early morning starts. Some days we're on at 3 o'clock in the morning. And the late evenings, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, finish the whole day on your bike. I mean, it's what I signed up to do. It's what I love doing. And Dakar is completely different, It's not the fastest guy's going to win. It's always the guy that's the smartest that's going to win at the end of the day. And there's so many things that you have to take into consideration, and it's the long race. It's not just day by day and 14 days of being on a motorcycle. And obviously this year they've made it a lot longer and 2 days longer in day wise. So it's going to be an interesting Dakar this coming one. But I've been training really hard, and I've got a mental coach on board now that's helped me incredibly well. So I think we've got everything in place. Obviously Lady Luck has a lot to do with it on a race like that. But all in all, we've got everything that we can have under control, and now we've just got to let it play out, and we've also just got to remember the small things, like remain smooth throughout the rally and not try push too hard in the first couple of days.
Now, it is a team effort, but it's also a solo effort. Can you tell us two things? The mechanical side of things, if something happens to the motorcycle, and secondly, the navigation as well. That's just as crucial.
The two hardest points of Dakar Rally is what you've just mentioned. The mechanical side is extremely difficult, and obviously you've got to keep that in your mind. You want to race and you want to win and you want to be up top there, but you've also got to remember at some parts of the race you've got to preserve the tires. You can have something small like a tip over and put a hole in the tank from a rock, and you lose all your fuel. So it could be, that's the kind of stuff you've got to think of from the mechanical side. And obviously you've got to know the bike really well, because if you do have a mechanical problem, you've got to fault find extremely quickly so you don't lose any time and get your bike back on the road and make sure you can get it back to the bivouac safely. And then the navigation side, it's extremely difficult, it makes it really hard. We're doing 160 kilometers an hour through the desert, and we've got to try and read a little piece of paper that we have to scroll by ourselves with our finger. It's extremely difficult, but it's the same for every single rider. Everybody struggles with navigation. You can see it on TV. When everybody's doing big circles and they say we lost, it means that we are extremely lost. But it is a part of the game, and it is a part of the journey that you take on Dakar, and it is frustrating. You want to be going in the correct direction and not 160 k's an hour in the wrong direction. So it all plays its part, and it is extremely tough, mentally wise more than physically wise. It's demanding because of the time that you're on the bike, and obviously with so many things going on and so many things to think about, it's really, really tough.
Now, the speeds have steadily risen. You've got the 450 bikes. Pretty much with technology, I guess the bikes are getting lighter and faster.
Yeah, in my opinion, they're going way too fast at the moment. But our top speed in the desert in the past couple of rallies has been up to 189 kilometers an hour. But Dakar Rally has now, due to the safety point of view, they've put a speed limit on the bikes for 2023, and that's limited to 160 k's an hour, which in my opinion is not really the Dakar, because I think it's the speed has a lot to do with the race. I don't think it's going to make it much safer than it is, because if you crash at 180 k's an hour, if you crash at 160, it's still really painful. So, but yeah, I think it's a test that they've have to take. Otherwise, the technology of the bikes and like you say, the speed of the bikes is just going to keep on growing until we go to some ridiculous speeds of over 200 k's an hour. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I think everybody's on the edge of the seat to see how this speed limit's going to work, and if it favors us riders or if it doesn't. But like I say, it's the same for everybody. Obviously, it's going to be a benefit to the factory riders that have the speed limiters on the bikes already built into them. Whereas if you a privateer, you don't have the access to that kind of material. So I do think it's unfair on that side. When they brought in the road book rule of giving the road book only in the morning, it helped everybody and it put everybody on a very even playing field. So I was really about that and really for that. But now with a speed limit rule, if you go 161 k's an hour, you're getting penalties already. And with the factory bikes, they can limit it to 160, where they don't have to worry about the speed. But the privateers are still going to be able to overshoot that speed and get penalties. And I don't think it's fair to win or lose a race on time speeding penalties. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out and what happens. But at the moment for the top guys, it's all the same, and we'll just have to see how it goes and play it by ear.
We're speaking exclusively to Dakar motorcycle superstar Ross Branch. We'll be back.
All the 4 and 2-wheeled action.
Motorsport 411.
So welcome back. Part 2 of our exclusive interview with Dakar motorcycle superstar Ross Branch. Ross, a two-part question. First of all, the issue of cars, trucks and bikes all racing at the same time. From a safety point of view, is it a hindrance? Does it help you even with navigation? And also, how big is the Dakar becoming? It appears to be getting bigger and bigger every year. You got big names from Carlos Sainz, even Sebastian Loeb, people like that competing in it, moving from the WRC into it. How big is the Dakar becoming?
That's a really good question, and that's part of the behind the scenes that not everybody gets to see. It is unbelievable how Dakar itself is, and it's huge. We have over 4,000 people in a bivouac every night, and it's like a small city. And for us, to see those famous names and everybody coming across from, not only the car drivers from WRC and stuff, but also the bike riders from World Championship Motocross and from the World Enduro Championship, it's really good to see. I know that this year they've put a limit on the bike numbers entries, so that just shows you how fast and how furious it's growing. It's a really big thing, and obviously the time of the year, it's January. There's no other sports on, no football, no athletics, no other motorsports. So I think it attracts a lot of attention, the Dakar Rally. So everybody wants to be a part of it. But it's unbelievable how big it is. And with us racing with the cars and trucks, it's one of my goals from the beginning that I don't want to be caught by a car, and touch wood, from the time I've started till now, I haven't been caught by a car. This year at Dakar, they tried something new, and they swapped us over, because the car guys' navigation is a little bit easier with some bike lines in front of it, whereas we opening these bikes, there's no lines and there's no way to follow. So I think it is a bit more difficult. And Dakar tried something new where we swapped over, where the bikes would follow a car track for one day, and it ended extremely badly for me personally, because the cars and the guys and the trucks, they build up such big braking bumps, and they bring up such big rocks under the ground, which obviously weren't there when the opening car goes and marks the route for dangers. So it was really dangerous for the bikes. But I get where Dakar's coming. They're trying to change up the rally a little bit and make it a little bit more open for everybody. So they do have some good ideas, and they are trying some cool stuff for everybody. And for sure, for the fans and everybody watching at home, it's exciting to see these changes happen for Dakar. But yeah, I like it as it is. It's been traditionally that the bikes go first, then the cars, then the side-by-sides, and the trucks go after that. So I think it should stay as it is, because they've been a good organization from the get-go, and so many years it's a well-oiled machine. It works well, and I think everybody's used to Dakar as it is. So I personally really, really like the current format of Dakar. So all these changes coming in, I don't think they're too necessary. I don't think we need them. I think they should keep them as Dakar is, because it is the toughest off-road racing in the world, and I think that shows with everybody coming to the event, with guys like Loeb and Alatia and Carlos Sainz, and I think it's what everybody works for. If you look at Toyota, they put all their effort in year to year just to go to the Dakar Rally, and a manufacturer like that being so big, focusing on one race throughout the year, means that it must be really important to a manufacturer that's the biggest sales in cars, and then obviously with Hero Motorsports joining the program as well, it's obviously showing that they're doing a good job for sales and for marketing and for the things that we need to continue racing. So I think they need to keep it as it is. But that's my personal opinion. Other guys will have different opinions, but it's really unbelievable to see how big it is. And to all the listeners on your show, if you have the opportunity to go and see Dakar and just be a part of the event, even if it's for a day or two, use your savings, break your piggy banks, and go and do it, because it is incredible, and it's once in a lifetime opportunity to go and see what it's about, and walk through the bivouac and see all the guys, and it's really incredible.
All right, let's talk about Africans competing in the Dakar. We know in the car division, it's massive business for South Africa. In fact, we keep in touch with Guy Bottrell, who's taking part in the South Africa Cross Country Series. He's taking part, competing with the Toyota Gazoo racing team. But from the motorcycle point of view, I guess we can put this together. How many Africans are competing in the Dakar, and what's the future? We see from Kenya our very own Salim Wali Muhammad. He took part in the Abu Dhabi. The Abu Dhabi race. That was the first time for Kenya to compete, internationally in that event. What do you see as the future for Africans in the race, particularly the motorcycle category?
Yeah, first of all, a big congratulations to Salim. I was with him in Abu Dhabi, and he was extremely amazing ambassador for your country, and he flew the flag high, and was so good to see, and the future of Africans in general going to Dakar is extremely bright. When I went to Dakar, it was myself and Kenny Gilbert that did it from South Africa. Well, basically from Africa. It was, only a couple of us, and Dave Reeves from Zambia has done it. There's a couple of guys throughout Africa that have done it. But I think, from last year and this year coming, there's so many more athletes that are getting involved. And, Graham Sharp from Zimbabwe is coming back again, and he's bringing 2 more guys from Zimbabwe. There's so many South Africans jumping on board and coming. So I think it's extremely bright future for Africans in general to come to Dakar. I think the biggest problem for all of us that we all face is obviously exchange rate and trying to get the sponsors to cover the cost to go there. It's extremely difficult. But I think, with all of us doing this, and I think Graham and Dave Reeves and Ingo Welschmidt from Namibia, I think if we all had to get together and and all our sponsors that helped us get to those first couple of Dakars that we all did. I think they would show, that they got their money's worth and their advertising worth, because it is the biggest motorcycling event in the world, and they got their return that they needed. And I think it shows just to all the companies that are listening, that are wanting to get involved. It is an extremely good marketing value for your product, and I urge the sponsors to get behind the riders. It doesn't mean that you have to go out and win Dakar to go and get the amount of return on investment for your sponsors that they need. You could be at the back of the pack and Dakar make a really good story about you, and it's shown to millions and millions of people in the world. So it is extremely good for advertising throughout Africa and for all the sponsors that get involved. So I think as soon as more and more sponsors come in on board, then I think we'll see more and more riders getting involved and going to Dakar. So we've got a Dakar group in Southern Africa. All the guys that have the ability to drive to where we are, we all get together, especially this time of the year, and we go up to Namibia and we do a training school and we do road books all together. We sit in the evenings and try to help each other out and learn from each other. So, I think we all, help each other even when we get to the races. It's extremely important to stick together as Africans. And, like I say, the training is really important. We have a whole bunch of us going to Namibia next week to do a bit of riding and to do a bit of soul setting. I think we all need it, and we all need to help each other with what kind of training programs we're on. So I think it's good to see that all of us Africans stick together throughout the entire time, from the time you start raising money to the time you actually get on the start line to the finish. So it's really good to see.
Just tell us about your fitness regime. What do you do? Diet as well. I guess you would have to watch what you eat as well, yeah?
Yeah, I think when I first went to Dakar, I think it was a little bit easier on the fitness regime. It was more about the mental side of things, because you have to be mentally so strong. And especially from my background, of racing, off-road racing in South Africa and Botswana, you only race for 1 day, maximum 2 days at our desert race, So I think to try and get your mind mentally fit for 14 days of racing was a really, really hard thing for me. And since I got better at that, I've started working again really hard on my fitness, because every day now the guys are going so fast and they're going so hard all day, every day. Whereas my first Dakar, you could probably race the first half of the stage and then rest a little bit and try let your body recover for the next day. And I think the guys are now taking it to the next level. They're racing as fast and as hard as they can the whole stage, every day, all day. So I think everybody can see that, the bikes are taking a hammering, the riders are taking a hammering. There's a lot more crashes and a lot more going on in the bike division, definitely. And so I think the guys have taken it to a next level, and if you follow Sam Sunderland, he's the hardest working rider there is at Dakar at the moment, and I think he set it to the next level. And I think we all close behind him, and I think everybody's hungry for a win. So there's going to be 20 guys that are going to the Dakar this year that can win it. So you've always obviously got to put your body and your mind on top of that list. It's not going to come down to talent or speed or anything now. It's going to come down to the person that's done the most homework, and the person that's done the most navigation training, and the person that's worked the hardest in the gym, and the person that's eaten the healthiest. So for sure, at the moment we're on the most crazy training plan I'm on, and I started working with a mental health coach, and he's incredible. Russell White has worked with some of the best athletes in the world, and he's done amazing things for me, and I think it's turned my game around and definitely taken it to the next level. Like he says, we don't need to worry about the 10% increase or the 15%. Now we need to work on the 1% increases, because I think everybody's on the same level, and those 1% increases are going to come down to winning or losing at the end of the day.
Ross, all things remaining constant, and we know the competition is getting stiffer and stiffer every year. What would you be happy with in terms of your performance in 2023 Dakar?
It's a really good question. I'm definitely going out to win, that I can promise you. But I'm happy to get to the finish line. It's been 2 years of of a real struggle for me. I know I've got the pace to be where I want to be, but it's ended badly, and I'm starting to take the luck division out of it. I'm not so believing in luck anymore. I'm making my own luck, and I would just like to be at the finish line. I know if I can be at the finish line, the result is going to be really good. So for my main focus now, it's going to be to the finish line. But you know what it's like. If I get to the last couple of days and I've got a chance to win the race, it's going to be all or nothing. That I can promise you.
That is so awesome to hear. Just tell us about the name Kalahari Ferrari.
It's really close to my heart. It's really close to my home. Obviously, being born and bred in Botswana and living in Botswana my whole life and riding through the Kalahari Desert most of my entire life. When I was racing motocross, my dad used to take me out on out rides and have a lot of fun on the bike. And, I started racing the annual Toyota Desert Race, which was huge for Africa in general. It was one of the biggest sporting events before we lost it to South Africa. And it was 1,000 kilometers through the Kalahari Desert. And one of the villages that we stopped at the fuel stop for, the guys obviously hadn't seen motorbikes coming through there for many, many years. And in the local tradition, they have a donkey cart, which is, a donkey pulling a cart, and that was their mode of transport. And they always used to tell me when I stopped there for the fuel stop that I'm the fastest Kalahari Ferrari they've seen go through here, which was referring to the donkey cart, it's the fastest mode of transport. So it was really, really cool. And, I got home and I told my family about this whole ordeal, and that was it. It stuck, and I think the locals caught on to it, and everybody started referring to me as the Kalahari Ferrari through Botswana, and that's obviously home for me. And it was incredible, when I'd stop in the middle of Botswana on a training ride, they would call me Kalahari Ferrari. They wouldn't call me Ross, and it just seemed to stick, and it was just cool. And the logo that we managed to find and get together was totally me. It's me in the bush on a donkey cart cruising through there, which is like my upbringing. It was fun for me to ride a donkey cart when I was young, and it made sense, and it's a bit of home. When I'm racing all these international races, it's a bit of home, and having the Botswana flag in the background it means a lot to me.
I'm sure you'd like to give credit to your family, all the backing you've received over the years and the support.
Definitely. Without them, it wouldn't be possible. Growing up since I was 3 years old, they've had me on motorbikes, and my mom and dad got me into a career that I wasn't even pushed into. They gave me the opportunity to take this career choice and path. And then obviously my sister having to give up everything that she wanted to do in her life so we could focus on my racing was there's not many people in the world that do that. And then obviously, I was lucky enough to meet the lady and the love of my life when I was 4 years old. We grew up together, and we got married, and my wife has been behind me, and also they've all put everything on the back burner to help me go through my career and to help me chase my dreams and to help me be at the top of the podium of Dakar one day. And without them, it's not possible. And I think it's incredible. What I owe them is priceless. I'll never be able to thank them enough for what they've done for me. But all of them, have taken this decision to follow my racing dream and to give up everything that they might have wanted to chase in their goals and their dreams and help me. They've never pushed me into it. They've always just been there to support me and help me. And I hope one day that I can repay them with a win. I know that they're not expecting it, but it'll just mean the world to me and to them if I could win. It's definitely not just me on the bike. It's a team effort. It's a family effort, and everybody that's believed in me. It would be repaying them in some small way. From the beginning of my career to the end, it's if I could win a race like Dakar or at least be on the podium, I know that they would be extremely proud, and it would have felt like all the efforts and the hard work that everybody's put in throughout my career would have paid off in some small way.
Amazing, incredible story. Why do you love motorsport?
There's no other feeling that you could get. I've always wanted to chase my dreams, and from the time I was really young, and what I actually realized about life is that you've got to do what you love doing every day. Then it's not work, and I'm lucky enough to be in that position. I had only one other thing. My parents basically said to me, okay, if you want to chase your dream in motorsports, then you have to make sure that you have something to become after an athlete, and obviously being a commercial pilot was on the top of the list. So I went and got that out the way, and now I can race my motorcycle every day, loving my life, knowing that, you know, one day when my athletic career does have to come to an end because of age or because of my body, then I know that I have something else behind me, and I don't have to stress. You know, I can get on my bike every day and just enjoy what I love doing. And, you know, riding through the bush at the speeds that we do maybe scare some people, and some people look at us like we're crazy idiots that are going through the bush at 160 k's an hour. But I fully believe it's what I was born to do, and I love doing it. And I go to bed every night with a smile on my face, being lucky enough to be a part of what I do and be a part of a team like I am, and just to travel the world. You know, I never knew in a million years that I'd be sitting in India meeting the big boss of the biggest motorcycle manufacturing company in the world, you know, and having dinner with them and just talking about racing and riding and where they started. And it's just incredible to be a part of this journey and to you know, to do things like this. So I love motorsports. It's given me an opportunity of a lifetime to travel the world. So I'm extremely lucky and privileged to be doing what I'm doing.
Ross Branch, the Kalahari Ferrari, it is an absolute pleasure speaking to you. The best of luck in the 2023 Dakar Rally. Once again, a big thank you for speaking to us on Motorsport 411.
Guys, I can't thank you enough for having me on the show, and to all your listeners, keep on listening out, and hopefully we can catch up one of the evenings at the Dakar Bivouac. And yeah, for those guys looking to want to do Dakar, please give me a shout, and if there's any way I can help you out or give you some advice, then let's do it. You know, let's let Africa take over the Dakar.
Motorsports 411 with Sean Cardovillis.
That's our exclusive interview with the Kalahari Ferrari, the Dakar motorcycle superstar Ross Branch from Botswana. Our thanks as always to Big City Studio. I'm Sean Cardovillis. See you next week.